Welcome to Walk the Line. Well, I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. We'll be giving you my Dynasty Man League Week 3 picks. Wow, Week 2 is crazy, man. More explosive action. A lot of guys came out, man, balled out. A couple people got 50 clips dropped on their head. A couple people had a couple donuts, man. So let's dive right into these Week 3 picks. First up, we got Darkness and the Tennessee Titans versus C-Rob and the Carolina Panthers. Darkness and the Tennessee Titans, man. This season so far, and it's only Week 3, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, has showed no type of production on the offense side of the ball. They have to figure out how Marcus Mariota can come out and execute a game plan. You know, they're going up this week against the Carolina Panthers, who sometimes can look like a team that can compete for a banner, then other times it looks like a mediocre team. The Carolina Panthers are coming off of, you know, a not too impressive Week 2 victory, you know, over the Cardinals. But hey, they got the job done, they got the W. This week, C-Rob has to do a whole lot better, man, with Cam Newton, you know, getting protection. He gave up 6 sacks last week. That's not a good thing for your quarterback to constantly be taking those hits and taking those beatings that could throw off a rhythm. You know, the passing game looked strong last week, and he has to keep that same mindset going into this Week 3 matchup against Darkness and the Tennessee Titans, because that secondary struggles, you know, and I don't think that they will figure it out on the defensive side of the ball how to stop the passing game this week. Vegas has C-Rob favored by 6 points. I think Vegas got this right, and with this pick, I'm going to have to take C-Rob and the Carolina Panthers, getting the W going into Week 4. Next up, we have the DML Game of the Week. I'm telling you right now, this game right here is going to be explosive. This is a must-win for both users. Divisional game. This game can have playoff implications from the rip. I'm telling you right now. This game can play a major part in the season. Who gets the division, who doesn't, who gets the last playoff spot. Because last season, 3 teams came out of this division. 11 and 5 team, and that division was so tight that whereas every single game in that division counted. Now, let's dig a little deeper into this game. You got Andy and the LA Chargers, man, coming off a good, dominant bounce back win last week over JB and the Denver Broncos. Things he wants to bring in this matchup: the passing game. Phillip Rivers went off for 316 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Another thing, Keenan Allen. He has to bring that same level of production that he went off for in that Week 2 matchup for 191 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. He's going up against a secondary that does not seem to have that lockdown defender that can match up toe-to-toe with him. And the defense, same mindset. Caused 9 turnovers last week. They're going up against a team that last season gave up the most sacks on their quarterback. You have to bring those key things into this matchup if you want to bring the victory home. KP. This is a user who every single week comes out and execute his game plan thoroughly. This game, I know last year he lost to this team in the playoffs, so he's coming in with a little extra chip on his shoulder. He has to figure out how to come out and install a new game plan to keep Andy and those LA Chargers on their feet all game. Vegas has this game favored with KP by 2 points. I think Vegas got this wrong. With this pick, I'm taking Addy and those LA Chargers getting a W in Kansas City. Heading into Week 4, I just don't think the Chiefs has the answer to these LA Chargers yet. Next up, we have Expert in the Jacksonville Jaguars versus T-Pain and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dak Prescott has pumped new blood, man, into this Jacksonville Jaguar offense. Last week he went off for 300 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns. The run game looked good. Can this be a team that can make a deep playoff run and potentially be there at the end of the season, either in the AFC Championship game, winning that and moving on to the Super Bowl? Or would this be the same team that we seen how they started off last year, fall completely off the mat? I think Expert, man, getting Dak Prescott has boosted his level of confidence, and this Jacksonville Jaguar team looks like the team to beat right now in the AFC, because their defense is playing well and that offense is just clicking on all cylinders. This week he's facing a struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that last week, man, it just didn't go his way. T-Pain, some advice, man. Erase that week 2 loss. You're going up against a defense who gave up 136 rushing yards on the ground. You have to get your running game going, and you're going to have to eliminate Austin Seferian-Jenkins. If you can execute those two key things that I just told you to do, I can see you probably being there close at the finish line with Expert going toe-to-toe. Vegas has this game favored with Expert by 5 points. I think Vegas got this right. I just think that Jacksonville Jaguars confidence level is through the roof. I think that they're going to come out there in Tampa, get the W going into week 4. Next up, we have Guwap and the Arizona Cardinals versus Flair and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow, Guwap is taking a heavy hit heading into this week 3 matchup. Quarterback Josh Rosen and DML MVP David Johnson both will be sitting out this game. We're looking at this roster and we're trying to figure out who's going to get the call, either Sam Bradford or JT Barrett. The Cardinals organization has not released that information yet, but this is a game that I'm pretty sure that he's happy that those 2 guys are out, because he's going up against pretty much the Pittsburgh Steelers, who've been struggling all season. I think anybody that he puts back there at the quarterback position can get this job done. They bring home the W. Pittsburgh. Is this the organization where we're going to start naming them the wide receiver killers? Because this organization cannot figure out how to get these wide receivers going. You know, they have so much talent at that wide receiver position, but they cannot seem to get anybody going. Brandon Cooks' career seems like it's about to go down the drain, because he has not yet cracked 100 yards receiving yards. Antonio Brown, God knows when the last time he cracked 100 receiving yards. Can this stop be where all wide receivers' careers die? You know, Vegas has Guwap favored by 6.5 points. I think Vegas got this right, and I want to take the Arizona Cardinals without their starting quarterback, without their star running back, getting the W out there in Pittsburgh. Next up, we have my Cleveland Browns versus the big homie, the Cincinnati Bengals. This right here, man, was a neck-to-neck game. Just do a quick recap. John Ross went off for 271 yards. AJ Green went off for 248 yards receiving. This was a matchup with a division opponent that we already knew it was going to be a close game, tight game. You know, both users put it all on the line, and the big homie came away with the W. Moving on, we got under 2 rated in the Washington Redskins versus Westside Pablo and the New York Giants. Under 2 rated took a tough loss last week versus tight working Miami Dolphins. Washington couldn't seem to just get off the field on 3rd down. They could not convert on 3rd down. You know, and that right there, so much fatigue that defense was going through that game, man, and it caused them it made them make mistakes in critical moments in that game, you know, which they fell short, losing by 7 points. Westside Pablo, man. What is going on, man? What is going on? Is this the new stop for the quarterbacks that pretty much careers are going down the drain? Rookie first round pick Jonathan is at risk, you know, is at risk of his future being thrown down the drain. It's only week 3, and this guy has thrown 9 interceptions and has been sacked 11 times. Those 2 things will kill a rookie's quarterback confidence, man. You have to figure out how to make basic, simple, easy plays for this young man, or his career is over before it started. Just tell you that right now. You have to figure out how to find a scheme that fits your game style and start executing it. A little bit of free chicken I'm going to give you. Put Odell Beckham in the slot and start from there. That's all I'm going to say. Put Odell Beckham in the slot and start from there. I guarantee you, I bet you any amount of money, that offense will make a dramatic turn. I'm telling you, make a dramatic turnaround. Vegas has under 2 rated favorites in this game by 2.5 points. I think Vegas got this one wrong. I'm taking Westside Pablo, taking that free KFC chicken I just gave him, getting a W at home, going into week 4. Next up, we have Jay Skill. My fault. Sorry about that. Jay and the Seattle Seahawks versus Matty Lowe and the Baltimore Ravens. Woo! Seattle. Y'all definitely ain't the Legion of Doom no more. Y'all the Legion of Doo-Doo. These guys gave up a total of 585 total offensive yards last week. Quarterback Russell Wilson was pulled from the game after throwing 3 interceptions. And first round draft pick Rashawn Bash seemed very frustrated, telling reporters after the game, the OC can't seem to figure out how to get the ball to me. That's a bad move, rookie. You don't want to start that friction and set off those bad vibes in the locker room. You want to show your team, man, that you're in it for the long haul with them, and you weathering through the storm with them. You know, this week they're facing a tough Baltimore Ravens team that's coming off of a dominating week 2 victory over SJ and the Houston Texans. Matty Lowe, Josh Brown shined in that week 2 matchup, going off for 130 something yards. This week you're facing a secondary who gave up 338 receiving yards to 1 wide receiver. Free chicken. Let Josh Brown go ham again this week. Simple as that. Vegas has Matty Lowe favored by 8 points. I think Vegas got this one right, and I'm going to take Matty Lowe and the Baltimore Ravens, getting a W at home going into week 4. Next up, we have Matty Ice and the Philadelphia Eagles versus Hamiltop and the Minnesota Vikings. Okay. A lot of things didn't go right in the week 2 loss for the Philadelphia Eagles. Is Josh Allen the quarterback that Matty Ice think that he could turn him out to be? Because last week in that week 2 matchup against 85 and those New Orleans Saints, Josh Allen looked like the quarterback that we seen last season in Buffalo. The defense didn't seem to have an answer for Kamara in that run game. They did not seem to. This week, Matty Ice can take a deep breath because you don't have to worry about the run game because the Vikings are still without star running back David Cook. Matty, get back to that game style that we seen you execute and play last season. You're doing a little too much. Stick to the game plan. That's it. Stick to the game plan, and I guarantee you You'll blow the door off the hinges on this one. Hamilton going up against a defense this week that could not figure out how to stop the run game. You know, you got to figure out how to get the ball going in the run game. I know you wish you had David Cook in this matchup, but you have to figure out how to get the run game going. You're going up against an O-line last week. They gave up 3 sacks. This week you home, got that crowd backing you. Get that defensive front four going. And the young quarterback seems to have his backs against the ropes. Do not let that young man out that corner to get a breather. Come out, put your foot on his throat. He's struggling. Alright? Get after him, rattle him, make him cause turnovers. Vegas has Matty Ice favored by 9 points. I think Vegas got this right. And I'm going to take Matty Ice and the Philadelphia Eagles getting a W over the Minnesota Vikings going into week 4. Next up, we have Taz and the Detroit Lions versus JB and the Denver Broncos. Taz came out last week, and when it seemed like that game was going in the other direction, Taz seemed to put a grip on it and stamp his name on that victory. He's going up against a defense this week that struggles on all cylinders. This team right now is giving up a total of 52 points per game. Taz, you gotta get your offense going. JB, what is going on, baby? What's going on? I know you. I know you decided to switch things up and put the rookie in. You know, but wow, man, this is crazy. You know, like you can't. You have to run the ball, young fella. If you coming out and you're throwing 5 interceptions, after the 3rd interception, that's it. You gotta run the rock, young fella. You can't keep passing the ball, baby. You can't keep passing the ball. Right now, that quarterback has a total of over 5 interceptions, and we're only in week 3. You gotta run the ball, because passing it right now is not the key out there in Denver. Some information just came down through the pipeline. Your quarterback has a total of 13 interceptions, 13 INTs, and it's only week 3. Wow. And your defense ain't helping you out no better, because they're giving up 52.5 points per game. You gotta regroup out there, man. You gotta regroup. Vegas has Taz favored by 11 points. I think that Vegas got this one wrong. I'm taking JB and the Denver Broncos, taking that advice that I just gave them, running the rock and slowing things down on that offensive side of the ball and taking their time, getting the W going into week 3. Next up, we have King Vitamin, the Los Angeles Rams versus Sweet 99, the San Francisco 49ers. LA, man, this team seemed to be falling in the bottom pad. You know, don't get me wrong, they're getting victories. King Vitamin is getting victories, and he's coming out and he's executing his game plan, but they're not pretty victories. They're ugly. You know, Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions last week. You know, the bright spot out of that victory, though, was the rookie wide receiver. You know, he came out and he balled, going off for 131 receiving yards. The defense calls for turnovers. This week, he's going up against, you know, Sweets 99, who last week balled out against the Atlanta Falcons. But the 49ers have to understand in this game that they're home. They're going up against a quarterback who threw multiple INTs in the previous weeks. Blitz him. Make him cause turnovers. Get him uncomfortable very early. Do not let this young man, even though that this Los Angeles Rams team has been skating past with a couple wins in the previous weeks, they have a lot of talent on that team that if you sleep on them, it will come out and blow the doors off the hinges. Blow the door off the hinges, as simple as that. You have to understand, Sweets, that this quarterback is struggling. Keep him on the ropes. Vegas has Sweets 99 favorite by 10 points. Wow, that's a large margin. Wow, that's a divisional. Dang. Wow. I think Vegas got this one wrong. I'm taking King Vitamin and the Los Angeles Rams getting a W over Sweets 99 and the San Francisco 49ers going into week 4. Next up, we have Rich 215 and the New York Jets versus Tight Work and the Miami Dolphins. Alright, some interesting things here. Rich was interviewed before this game and by reporters, and the reporter simply asked him how does he feel, going up against a DML back-to-back championship winner. And Rich flat out said, fuck them old banners. There's a new king of the AFC East. Simple as that. That's exactly what he said. And he's playing with his confidence through the roof. Shout out 2 users back to back giving out them Krispy Kreme donuts. He has not let up a single point yet. 10 turnovers. Getting after the quarterback 9 times. And Robbie Anderson seemed to be playing like he's trying to get that DML MVP award. Going off last week for 200 yards and the week before that going off for $159. This is going to be a game where this can set the tone of the division right here. And I'm looking forward to see can the rookie knock off the vet. Tight Work, you got your hands filled this week. But Tight Work, you gotta understand that you need to lean on what has been working for you. Defense. Simple as that. You gotta figure out the combination to this lock of Rich 215 and the New York Jets defense. You have to figure out how to put points on the board because no one has yet, even though it's just week 3. But that's very impressive for him to produce 2 shutouts back to back, but also put up over 30 points in both matchups. So this is a game where you're going to have to figure out how to put points up on the board. But while you're putting points up on the board, slow this offense down out there in New York. Vegas has Rich 215 favorite by 4 points. I think Vegas got this wrong. I'm going with the vet. Tight Work and Miami Dolphins getting a W over Rich 215 on the New York Jets. Humbling that young man, letting him know how to DML rock out. Next up, we have the Scammer and the New England Patriots recap versus Skill Trade and the Buffalo Bills. This was a game right here where the Scammer came out and just flat out executed his game plan on the offense side of the ball and pretty much caused turnovers. This was the game that I knew it was going to go this way because of the simple fact of how he played last week. So this was an easy pick for me, and Vegas had him already favored by 10 points. He covered the spread without a problem. Looking forward to see what he's going to do in that week 4 matchup. Moving on, we got Moby and the Green Bay Packers versus HBO and the Dallas Cowboys. Moby sitting at 2-0 heading into this matchup. That young defense balled out. First round draft pick LeBradford Hicks seemed to be all over the place last week, man. Yo, he was flying all over the field. 2 sacks, 1 interception, 5 tackles, and a forced fumble recovery. This rookie right here is showing promise that this is just the beginning. And like I said last season, this Green Bay Packers team, a lot of people were sleeping on it, but they have so much young talent out there, man, that if he could figure out how to keep them guys clicking and going, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a team that come high stakes, whew, they're going to be nasty. Yo, HBO and those Cowboys, man, just take that star off of their team, man, and put a pile of shit up there, because this team, okay, you trade away your star quarterback, you get a rookie, you bring the rookie in, and the rookie seems to just to be struggling all over the place. You don't have no offense, you don't have anybody to throw for him to throw the ball to. You know, you messed up in the draft. This Dallas Cowboys team, man, is just being driven through the floor. Moby right now, confidence is through the roof. I think, you know, how he's playing, you know, it's hard to pick against him right now. Vegas had some favorite by 10 points. I think Vegas got this one right. I'm taking Moby and the Green Bay Packers getting the W over HBO and the Dallas Cowboys. Next up, we got the Bucs and the Chicago Bears versus 85 and the New Orleans Saints. Woo! Run game meets run game in this matchup, and defense meets defense in this matchup. Both of these users know how to run the rock well. You got 85 coming off a great rushing game last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. And you got the Bucs also coming off a great run game last week. These are two guys who knows how to come out and just flat out run a rock down your throat if you get them the chance to. This game is going to come down to who can shut down the run and cause turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. Vegas has Eddie favored by 3.5 points. I think Vegas got this one right, and I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints at 85, get the W going into week 4. Next up, we have SJ and the Houston Texans versus Nasty Noob and the Atlanta Falcons. These are two users coming off of 2 L's. You know, SJ, you facing a quarterback who threw for 4 interceptions last week. This could be a week that Clowney has a big game and gets multiple interceptions. You know, so just lock in. Matty Ice right now, his veins is not icy at all. They lukewarm, and I think you gotta smell the blood in the water. Smell the blood in the water this game. You gotta get after him, keep him rattled. On the other hand, Nasty Noob, you going up against a secondary who gave up 136 yards receiving to one wide out. You have to figure out how to either get Julio Jones off or Calvin Ridley off. You got to figure out or get both of them off, because that secondary seems to be struggling right now. Vegas has SJ and Houston Texans favored by 2 points. I think Vegas got this one wrong. I want to take Nasty Nuke and Atlanta Falcons, getting the W at home, going into week 14. Next up, we have Marizi and the Indianapolis Colts versus Tone Dog and the Los Angeles Raiders. Marizi ran the ball well last week, but he couldn't get the job done. Don't switch the game plan up. Stick to that same game plan. Base your offense around Melvin Gordon. You're going up against a team who gave up a total of 136 rushing yards last week. You have to come out with the same mindset. Run the rock. And that will open up a lot of your offensive stuff. Tone, you got to figure out how to stop Melvin Gordon. He's coming off of a good rushing game. You know, last week he gave up a lot of yards on the ground, so you got to focus in the dark hole how to stop that run. You got the crowd, the home crowd behind you, you know, but you're facing the secondary who struggled last week against Austin Seferian Jenkins. Get Jared Cook involved early. This Colts secondary seems to struggle against tight ends. Take the advice If we shut down the run, get the tight end involved, I can see Oakland skating away with this one. Vegas has Tone favored by 6 points. I think Vegas got this one right, and with this pick, I'm taking Tone and the Los Angeles Raiders getting the W going into week 4. I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. Those are my picks for week 3. Drop a comment. I'm out.